Okay, so my name is Desiree Ortega, and I am making Go Power Bars balls. They're more like bites. They're balls made up of oats, peanut butter, and a few other ingredients, quite a few other ingredients. And that I picked this because it doesn't really require much cooking at all. I like to cook. That's something that I do a lot of. And so this one, it just requires to warm up the items so that they can blend together nicely, and then you chill it. So I thought it'd be pretty interesting to do. My superfood was walnut, and that's something, in all honesty, I've always loved. I remember the first thing I thought about when I seen walnuts on the list was when I was a kid and I used to open up the walnuts, and that because my grandfather used to buy them fresh. So I just thought I'd share this with you. Have a good evening. Next, it calls for 1 cup of walnuts. That is about a cup right there of walnuts. The recipe calls for these ingredients to be finely chopped. I'm going to chop them up a little bit to break them up. This is what it looks like now that it's been minced up quite well and broken down. Now we're going to put it in a pan. So here we go. We're going to put it in a pan. Now, one of the other reasons why I picked this recipe is because it really calls for no cooking. It only asks that you put these two ingredients in a pan to sort of make them brown slightly. It says no more than about 5 minutes, and that's about it. Now, that's something very different for me. Me personally, I am one that typically cooks. So to find in a recipe that doesn't quite call for cooking is quite nice. Now, as you see, we broke down those walnuts as much as possible through there, and we're just going to mix this up until it turns slightly brown. We have it over a medium heat in what is known as a Dutch ovens, or Dutch oven for I'd say history type, but nowadays they just call it a cast iron pan. Duh. As you see, some of it's still quite bright there, but some of it is turning brown nicely. As you see, this now has started turning really, really nice and golden brown as it's been in here warming up. Some of the oats might still stand out a little bit. Okay, looks about as brown as it's going to get. What we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to put it in a mixing bowl now so we can mix in the rest of the ingredients. So now we are going to take our teaspoon And so instead of flaxseed, it allows us to put 2 teaspoons of nuts extra. So that's what I'm doing with the teaspoon here. Now we are going to use a half a teaspoon. And with this half a teaspoon, we're going to put half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon and a half a teaspoon of salt. And I think I'm going to do a little lighter on the salt. Say that's a little more than a quarter teaspoon. I'm not much of a salt person. And high blood pressure tends to run in my family, so I try to watch my salt intake. Okay, now we're going to add in our cinnamon. And let me mix that up a little bit for you guys so you can see. As we mix that together. Okay, so back to where we were. We are going to use the same pan. We're putting it back on the stove. We're putting it on low heat. And what we are going to put in it now is 3/4 cup of peanut butter. Now we are going to use a 1/4 cup, which you probably can't see. 1/4 cup, and we are going to fill it up with cranberry. Okay, we are going to add these to the peanut butter. Now we are going to use 1/4 cup of honey. There we go, 1/4 cup of honey. And that will also be mixed into this. Now we will be putting 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And the vanilla will be added in. And 1/4 cup of water. These ingredients will be mixed together. It says use a rubber mixing spoon or something. Unfortunately, I don't have one, so I'm going to do with what I got. And mix all the ingredients until they are nicely mixed together. I know it looks a little weird. Then of course this is just to heat on low flame simply so that it can help with the texture and the mixture of the items. Again, like I said, it doesn't call for cooking, it just calls for a little bit of heat for assistance. As you see, that's mixing together quite nicely. All that funky look is going away. And it's starting to look a little bit like candy, caramel. Almost done here. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to put this mixture together with our other mix of the oats and stuff, and we are going to mix it together in the bowl. As you see, I have placed it in the bowl, and now we are mixing these ingredients all up. It says continue mixing until evenly mixed. So that's what we're going to do. Now the recipe states that if it's too warm, once you've mixed everything together, feel free to stick it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes, 10-20 minutes until it cools down and you're able to handle it with your hands. And that, now mind you, this also comes with freezer instructions, and it says that it's good to freeze these items and they last up to 3 months in the freezer. Now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to stick this unsweetened coconut. We're going to put that in a empty bowl, and then we are going to roll balls together, and we are going to cover it up with that coconut before we stick it in the refrigerator for 45 minutes to set. So as you see, I started making balls already. Get these balls and you put them inside the coconut and you mix them around so that it picks up coconut in it. Not quite grabbing that well. What I found to be a little simpler is while I'm mixing the ball or creating the ball, just grab a little bit of the stuff here, the mixture that we've already put together. It's still a little warm. Grab this, and I'm putting it together with the coconut as I'm forming the ball. And that seems to be working a little better for me. I'm sticking a little more. And there we go. So this is what they look like, and I am going to continue to work on these. I'm going to make some also without the coconut because I know my household won't eat it with the coconut in it. They're a little picky. So I will show you finished product as soon as it's done. So this is the last of them, and I am going to stick them in the refrigerator for 45 minutes. Okay, so it's evening. So my recipe actually does support energy imbalance. And the reason it does is because it uses a lot of ingredients that actually help build energy up. They're really good for you. They help you in our system for us to digest things and help us gain the best benefit out of the day by eating these foods. So it takes wheat germ. If you want to use wheat germ, it can take cranberries, dates. You can probably substitute it most likely with different type of fruit if you choose. Okay, probably something that's quite healthy for you, like with the antioxidants, like berries typically do. It has peanut butter in it, which is really high in protein. It's great for you. All these things really do help with the system as well as help with our energy count. And so that was one of the reasons that I picked this. I'm typically one that's always running on empty. And so to have something simple to be able to bite or snack on that's going to help me with my energy throughout the day, plus help curb that hunger because you're eating something, it's great then. Why not use it? I enjoyed this class very much. I enjoyed finding out new information, being able to remind myself of the information that I already had stored in stuff that brought back memories from my past, things that I have already learned, be able to put them to use in this class as well as refresh on them, gain new knowledge as well, which would just help strengthen me so that not only it can help me benefit for myself, but also share that with others. That's typically something that I do on a daily basis, in the line of work that I'm in is I work with the people, and so being able to share information with them is a great thing that I can do. And so I really enjoyed this class. I really thank you for all the information and all that we've gone through here and gaining new insights and ways to better ourselves. Okay, here we go. I do not really care for doing videos, but I'm giving it a shot. So my video is about my superfood, which is walnuts, and walnuts are grown here in the state of California. As a matter of fact, I used to have a walnut tree in my backyard. Walnuts, when they are first grown from the tree, they come out looking like a green ball. And then what you need to do is you need to take it from the tree, and you need to wash them up and take off that green stuff, which has some like black underneath that sort of stains your fingers. And then you'll find the walnut shell. The walnut shell on the inside is typically what it looks like when we go to the grocery store and we get them from the grocery store. That's typically what walnuts look like. So that's what you'll find when you find them from a tree. It just won't look the exact same. They'll look like green balls. Inside is the walnut. Okay, walnuts are very good for you. Walnuts can help lower your blood pressure. Walnuts can help keep you healthy in many different ways. Walnuts can also help keep you from obtaining cancer. So there's many different good things that can come from eating walnuts. So I'm going to try.
We don't show the darkness.
So I am going to try these power bites and see what it's all about. Pretty good. You really taste the honey. And the peanut butter. Thank you. So there we go. We just finished the Go Power Bites. We did our own little version on it. It consisted of quick cooking oats, chopped walnuts. You can use almonds if you like. A teaspoon of ground flaxseed or wheat germ, or you can substitute for more oats or nuts. 2 tablespoons total. 1/2 tablespoons ground cinnamon. A half teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Half teaspoon of salt. 2/3 cup of creamy peanut butter. 1/4 cup of finely chopped pitted dates if you choose, or 8 large dates if you like. Try not to use dry ones, or you can use 1/4 finely chopped or cut dried cranberries, which is what we use. We just didn't chop them. 1/4 cup of honey, 1/2 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1/4 cup of water, and 3/4 unsweetened finely shredded coconuts for rolling. There you go, all done. That's what it looks like when it's done.